I do not believe Sarah Boone. I'm not talking about everything she says, but some really significant portions of her testimony from the cross-examination. We've got a big live stream coming up here. I'm going to uncover something that's going to blow your mind when we talk about the testimony of Sarah Boone, the woman who is accused of locking her boyfriend, George Torres, inside of a suitcase. She took the stand. She testified. She told her story. She claims to be the victim. But when we get to what happened that night in the apartment, I do not believe Sarah Boone. I will tell you why. Welcome, everyone. This is Vinny Live.
Hey, get ready, get set, let's go.
It's true crime, streaming live, worldwide. It's Vinny Live. It's true crime, streaming live, worldwide. It's Vinny Live. Get ready. So post inside the chat. Get ready for the prosecutor hat. Get set. To like and to subscribe, let's go. It's time for Vinny Live.
All right, here we go. Wow. Okay, we're doing a nooner today. Doing a nooner. Again, I go live based on my schedule and what's going on. This morning I had some early physical therapy, grabbed a quick bite to eat to try to balance my type 1 diabetes, and here we are, because I had to tell you about this. I had to tell you about this relative to this woman, Sarah Boone. And it's about her testimony on cross-examination, where she came down into the well of the courtroom, and there they put Sarah Boone next to the suitcase, which in this case is the red rum weapon. This is what they're alleging is the red rum weapon. But she's claiming self-defense. She's claiming self-defense against a man inside of a suitcase. She's claiming self-defense against a man in a suitcase while she's got a baseball bat. Like, that stuff doesn't normally compute. So they've brought in, and the jury's heard a lot of this testimony about all these prior incidents and the toxicity of their relationship and the violence in their relationship. And you've got George Torres on video with a baseball bat smashing a TV monitor, screaming out jealous atrocities that we can't even play on court TV. So that picture's been painted. Now, did that stuff happen? Yeah, they had a bad relationship. Police are called all the time. They both got charged. But they always made up. Like, she would call police and then bail them out the next day. Like, I get it. And I don't want to minimize what it's like to be in a relationship like that, where there is violence and people, sometimes you're trapped, don't know how to get out of it. But speaking of trapped and not knowing how to get out of it, let's get into what happened that night. Okay? Because that is the focus of this live stream, is what happened that night and what she said happened. And there's one particular part that really struck me that I thought was extremely significant. Extremely significant. Because here's the way it works, right? Someone testifies. If the jury believes them and what they're saying is a defense to what they did, then they're found not guilty. So this is important. Now, if they believe some of what she said and not other parts of what she said, they can discount all her testimony, or they can accept the parts that they feel are credible. There's a part of her testimony I find that is just not credible. I'm going to play it for you right now. And this, again, is during cross-examination. The prosecutor has brought the suitcase into the middle of the courtroom, taken Sarah Boone off the witness stand. You'll also see her attorney come in and put some gloves on as well. But let's watch this together, and then at the end it will freeze on a moment that I believe is significant. So let's just watch it first. It's about 2 minutes. I don't know if I have audio on this. I don't think I have the audio on this one. That's okay. The audio got muted. But let's, so I'll do so right now he is asking her, and you'll see the subtitles pop up. asking her to show the jury where the zippers were when she zippered him shut. All right. So now she's saying one zipper is right there. Okay. Now the zippers aren't working well. It's an old piece of luggage, and I don't think it has every piece to it. We remember that part of what she said was you needed a paper clip to put it in there to help pull it shut. But there she sets one zipper, because we know these pieces of luggage have two zippers. I apologize for not having the audio, but that's okay. It was all part of what was happening this morning. It was a lot going on. So now she's getting to the second zipper, and again, having trouble with it because it's kind of sticking a little bit. And you see her attorney standing behind her, getting ready to help her. And the prosecutor gets up, and here James Owens is going to try to help. Yeah, jump in there, James. It's a little stuck. So where does the second zipper go? She's got to put that in one spot. And we saw where the first one went, right? And what's interesting is James Owens is trying to close it a little tighter. Now, it's been moved over from where she originally said it was. She moved it over just a little bit with the help of her lawyer, which was interesting. But now let me show you. Well, here comes the prosecutor again. Now, this is the part. She's pointing to where it was, one zipper. And over here, he's got the zipper in the other spot. So you got two zippers in these two spots. This is her testimony about where the zippers were when she left George Torres. Okay? We know she goes upstairs, falls asleep. He can't get out. But this is her story. Now, you can see James Owens is trying to get it closer and tighter for obvious reasons. I think it's obvious, but I'm going to explain it to you in just a second. So I've got the same exact dimensions on a suitcase with me right now. So let me. I don't think you're going to hear me if I do that. One second. Let me do this. Well, maybe you'll be able to hear me. This is new stuff for me. I'm adding a second camera so I can do this demo for you. Okay, so all right, I've got to stay here for the audio, but I think I can do the audio on the other camera. So let me get the other camera first. I got to get the other camera. Let me make sure it's still working. It's still working. I will unmute it, and I'm going to remove myself here. You won't hear me for a second, and then you will hear me. So let me remove this image first. Remove that. Okay. Whoa. All right, you should be able to hear me now. So hopefully you're hearing me. Just check the messages to make sure you can hear me. All right. If you can hear me, please just say, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you. Let me know that you can hear me. I think you can because I'm hearing myself here. All right. So this is the same dimensions. Now, this is where one zipper is. My zipper is actually broken just like hers, right? So it's interesting. So one zipper, she pointed to the middle of the handle. Her lawyer tried to move it over a little bit. Second zipper down the side here. Okay? So you've got one zipper coming up just below the corner and the other zipper right here. Now let's look at how much space we have here. I'll try to give you some perspective here. Look at how much space there is here. You could easily get a hand out. You could potentially stick your head through there. This is a lot of space. Okay? This is what she is saying, how she left him. Why did she do that? Because she doesn't want to zip him shut. Because if she zips him shut, then she knows he can't get out. She knows that it's likely that he will pass away. So she is minimizing, like I said before, she's testifying and she's minimizing and testifying. Let me just make sure you can hear me. We can hear. Okay, we can hear. Great. Let me turn this down. All right. So you look at the amount of space here is enough clearly to get a hand, perhaps two hands through, depending upon how he's contorted inside. But what's interesting, when we open this up, and I'm going to open it up for you right now. It's tough being your own cameraman. Oh, I've got a suitcase in a suitcase. Oh, let me get that suitcase out of here. So her testimony was that he was up here. Oh, this is tough by myself. I need help. Let me unzip the bottom here. 1 second. 1 second. This is real behind the scenes, folks. Oh, yeah. All right, I've got it completely unzipped now. What was her testimony? Her testimony was that his head, this is probably going to get even better if you see it this way, is that his head is in this part, right? Upper left. His head, so his head be coming down here. This is the part right here that is opened. So his head is here, feet, arms here. That's why the arm was coming out here. Now, does that make sense on a couple perspectives? But I just want to establish what she is saying, okay, and why I don't believe her. I believe it was zipped shut, because if it was left open like she described it being open, he's going to be able to get out. And let me show you why. Let me show you why I believe that. I'm going to zip it back to where it was. There's a couple things that happened here. Got it up to the side. I've got it to the middle of the handle, the way she described. Couple things. If his hand comes in, this is what happens. I'm moving the zipper right now. Just with the pressure of my hand, I am moving the zipper. Okay? You understand that? So if my hand is inside, coming out, I'm moving the zipper and opening it even more. So if he's got this much space that I'm talking about here, if he's got this much, you might be getting motion sickness from watching this video, sorry. But if he's got this much space to deal with from the middle down to the bottom here, this whole corner, you've got enough to get a hand through there and push this. It just pushes and undoes. Now, why don't I believe her? All right, that's going to be it for the demo, okay? We got enough for the demo? Let me get back to normal here. 1 second. All right, 1 second. Whew, back to normal. Okay, now why doesn't this make sense to me? Why do I not believe her? Let me put this away. Let's remember her testimony. Let's remember her testimony. I was in fear. If he got out, he was going to end me. If he's going to end her, and that's what he's saying, why would she leave that much space open in the suitcase? Number one, she leaves that much space. He's getting out. He's getting out of that suitcase. If it's much tighter, where maybe you can get a few fingers out, right? A couple of fingers, which is what I thought it was all along. That's why I was shocked when she did this. My understanding from everything that was said before the trial was that he got some fingers through there. And if it's like that much space, okay. That's a little bit more difficult. The fingers come through, boom, the bat comes. But if you've got, this much space, you can get two hands through there, depending upon how he's contorted again. But your hand, you're going to be able to push that zipper down and open it even more. If she's actually in fear and he's actually making these threats rather than pleading for her to help, why would she leave it open like that? Well, she says she left it open because if she zips it all the way shut, there goes her story about, I didn't want him to pass away. That wasn't my intention. That goes out the door because you've zipped it shut and you've gone upstairs, you've gone to sleep, and you're done. Do we really think that it was open that much? And if it's open that much, do you think he may have been able to fight his way out? I believe so. Absolutely. Number one, there's more oxygen coming in. There's more of an open space. And there's more of an opportunity to get a hand, an arm, perhaps your head, because your head is up in the top left-hand part of that suitcase. You might even be able to get your head through there. Unless you've been beaten with a baseball bat. Unless you've been thrown down the stairs. And unless it's zipped all the way shut. I don't believe her minimization of what she actually did that night. I don't think she's come clean. Because it doesn't make sense to me. Fear for your life, and then you're going to leave it that wide open. And if he is angry and he's going to end you, you don't think he's going to be able to get out of that? And why would you leave it open like that and then go to sleep? You're completely defenseless. 100% defenseless at that point. If you want to leave it like that, call police, leave it like that, get out of the house. Yeah, that okay. But that's not what happened. You just went to sleep. That's when you're the most vulnerable, is when you're lying in bed, asleep. And you're going to leave it open like that? Makes no sense to me. Doesn't make common sense. Doesn't make sense based upon what she has said. And it is completely different than my understanding going into all of this. My understanding was it was just enough space for maybe a couple of fingers to make their way through until they get smashed with a baseball bat. That's why I don't believe Sarah Boone. Now, about everything that's happening in their relationship, I mean, it was a horrendous relationship. Two people on substances, two people coming off of other relationships, two people that are tanked, two people were making calls to police over and over again. A neighbor who hears yelling each and every day. Yeah, I believe this was a horrible relationship. Yeah, I believe there was violence there. Absolutely. But what I don't believe is her story about that night. Now, if you want to let her go based upon the fact that you believe that she is a victim of intimate partner violence, then, and it's like the burning bed scenario where it's just hit a boiling point for her and something triggers her and then she takes action, but it's because of the PTSD and everything else. That's one thing. But don't find her not guilty because of her fear that he was going to do something that night if she let him out. Because what she basically testified to is that she gave him an opportunity to get out. And she testified that she didn't intend to do what she did. She's speaking out of both sides of her mouth. You can't have it both ways. You're either zipping it shut to get rid of the threat, or you're leaving it open because you don't believe there's a threat. You can't leave it open and then tell me out of the other side of your mouth that there's an ongoing threat. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. It just doesn't. And that's why I do not believe Sarah Boone. You know, it's like she's contorting her story to try to fit everything in, everything that she's admitted to, everything that she's done, along with everything else that's happened. It's not a clean case for her. Not at all. Now, James Owens is doing the best he can and may convince these jurors in Central Florida. Like I always say, I have no idea what a jury's ever going to do. And I don't pretend to know what a jury's going to do. They have surprised us way too many times through the years. and they're seeing things a little differently than we are. When they're in the courtroom, they're seeing things a little differently. They're in there all day. They're making observations, and then collectively, they all bring their life experiences together. And I don't know who these people are. I don't know what they've been through. But I'm telling you why I do not believe Sarah Boone in what she is saying about the suitcase and the threats and that particular night, because it doesn't add up. If those threats are real, she's not going to leave it open. But if there aren't any threats, then she'll leave it open. So maybe she left it open. But if she left it open, he would have gotten out, unless he couldn't get out because of other things that happened to him connected to, oh, I don't know, maybe the baseball bat that she was swinging. These are all the problems I see. These are all the problems I see. By the way, folks, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Vinny Politan, lead anchor for Court TV, and today we are streaming on my YouTube channel. We're also simulcasting on the Court TV YouTube channel. We're also on my Facebook. We're on Twitch, and we are on X. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of Twitchers. Look at these Twitchers. Twitch is like on fire. I see 3 different comments from Twitch. Look at this. One from Montreal. Check. That's J Dub's dad. And we've got a Checkmate or Heart. Ah, nice. Also on Twitch, which is nice to see. Nice to see. All right. It's noon. I know it's the middle of the day. I jumped on early today because my afternoon is going to be very busy, very intense. So I wanted to make sure I got on today. And we're going to get to some of your comments and questions relative to all of this. Now, the fact that So what do you do with that, right? I don't believe the testimony about that night. So what does that mean? Well, does that mean that she's a victim of some level of DV? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means exactly what she is saying happened that night, I do not believe happened. And when a defendant gets up on the stand and is not 100% truthful, I tend to take all of their testimony and insert a huge grain of salt, right? If you want to come clean, you come clean. Like Johnny Depp got on the witness stand and he was admitting to things that, wow, can you believe he admitted to them? Right? Now, he wasn't a defendant. He was the plaintiff in the case, but then was the defendant in the counterclaim. But that someone took the stand and, okay, I admit that. Like if she said, listen, I zipped it all the way shut because I thought he was going to come after me. Okay. And then I passed out because I was stone cold drunk. Okay. Now you're telling me something that kind of, all right, fits. But that's not what you said. You're minimizing. She didn't remember making the video. And then all of a sudden she's telling us very articulately her purpose behind what she said in the video while she is sloppy drunk. So, she's not stupid, right? She's not stupid. We figured that out. On the witness stand, she's not off the rails like a raving lunatic. So I think that adds to her. So for this jury that doesn't know the history of Sarah Boone and the 8-9 lawyers and everything else that she's done through the years, and they shouldn't know that, right? They're just basing their verdict on what they're seeing in the courtroom. And the woman they're seeing in the courtroom is much different than the woman I expected. Much different than the woman we've been seeing over the course of years. And I think it helps her to a certain extent. But I got to call her out when what she's saying doesn't make sense to me. All right. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to get to the comments. And I think all the chats are coming together. Facebook, my YouTube, the Court TV, YouTube, X, and Twitch. And we'll see what folks have to say. Giuliana, if he had that much space, he clearly would have gotten out. He was completely zipped up in there. Bingo. How about that? How about that? Oh, that's weird. Why is that 729? Interesting. Oh, by the way, Frankie Fig saying hello to everyone. And of course, Gen X, our mod squad.
Order in the chat. Order in the chat. Don't dare attack, we've got order in this chat. The Mod Squad is on the job, helping us to keep it clean. The Mod Squad is on the job, always so nice and never mean. So let's give it up and say hello to the three amazing ladies running this show. Gen X, let's make some noise. Frankie Figs, let's clap our hands. And Jennifer Subay, let's raise the roof. Order in the chat. Order in the chat. Don't dare attack, we've got order in this chat. The Mod Squad is on the job, helping us to keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
The Mod Squad is on the job, helping us to keep it clean. The Mod Squad is on the job, always so nice and never mean.
We love our Mod Squad. All right. Nivea Afandor became a YouTube member over on the Court TV channel. Great to have you here. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see who else is checking in today. Another new member is Joette. Don't forget, folks, the membership over on the Court TV YouTube channel, different levels of membership give you different things. So jump in on a great opportunity. Demetrius joining us from Greece today. Opa! Fantastic. We got the Justice Junkie with us as well. Fantastic. All right. Hershey, her comment about getting mad to the rebuttal witness. Yeah. Interesting. Alyssa, I'm with you, Vinny. She isn't believable whatsoever. Okay. And that's interesting. Alyssa, do you believe the stories? And now I got Alexa talking in the background. Be quiet. I wasn't talking to you. I said Alyssa. They thought I said Alexa. There you go. So Alexa's listening to us, folks, by the way. Whatsoever. So you're discounting everything. See, to me, I believe that there was a problematic relationship. I think it went back and forth. I think they went at it. She said, he's a smaller guy. He's 5'2", 103 pounds. That's how he got inside the suitcase. She said she was 98 pounds at the time. Although I thought on some of the arrest documents, it said she was 140. I don't know. I think she's a little bit bigger than he is. And she's got the baseball bat, right? But no doubt that there was real violence. We've seen the pictures. We saw the black eye. That wasn't an Amber Heard black eye. That was a real one. All right. Justice Junkie was missing me. Well, I'm back from vacation from Aruba. Gianna in Arkansas today. Great to see you. Oh, JJ Law. Vinny in a hoodie. Yeah. Well, I told you, physical therapy this morning. Got back from physical therapy, some PT, getting the shoulder ready for baseball season next year. So I got a rehab in the off season. So that's what happens on the live stream. You never know what I'm going to be wearing or not wearing. Here we go. Fan lady, Owen's driving me nuts, but I'd hire him. He's fighting. Yeah. Listen, the reason he took the case is because of me. So you can blame me if you want. When SarahBoone didn't have a lawyer, she filed that want ad thing, that little poster. And we featured it on my show. And he was watching one night and he's like, wow, she doesn't, and he's not from that part of Florida. He's from the Panhandle in Pensacola. And he's like, this woman it's a red rum case and she doesn't have a lawyer. And then he sort of waited to see if someone would pick up the case. No one picked it up. So then he jumped in. So that's the type of guy he is. He truly believes in what his role is in our system of justice, and we need defense attorneys who are going to fight for their clients. Otherwise, see, power corrupts. And if prosecutors had unchecked, and I'm a former prosecutor, if prosecutors had unchecked powers, then you would run into corruption. You would run into corruption and you'd run into injustice. It's in our whole system, our whole government was set up to have these balance. That's why there's the right to have counsel. You have to have the right to counsel. You need that, because if you don't, then it's one-sided. Like, the government can't make all the decisions. The government can't be the judge, jury, and executioner. They can't. That's why we need defense attorneys like James Owens. All right. Okay, here's from Jennifer Lee Faith on Facebook. I don't believe Sarah Boone either. And when he was breaking the TV, it seemed like she was aware of it and they planned to break it or something, because she was just filming him and not saying anything. Yeah, but he's making accusations, right? And I don't think I know we aren't able to play the audio of what he was saying on court TV, but he was accusing her of doing things to her ex-husband in a sexual way while he's doing that and going on this rant. What was interesting, though, about George, when he's doing that, if you notice, he's like swinging the bat several times and he's running out of breath very quickly. Very quickly. And you could tell he wasn't well. And I mean, he clearly not eating enough, clearly imbibing in, whether it's alcohol or substances, too much, right? That was a problem in his life. He was an addict. He's addicted. I think she's an addict too. I think one of the reasons she's so different now is that she's been locked up and perhaps doesn't have access to all the things that she had access to when she was free. But there was some coordination. I agree. Coordination with her recording it. It was weird. It's a bizarre, it's a bizarre relationship and situation. Giusy Nuno. Good evening, everyone from Italy. Best way to make my way home. Giusy Nuno. Ciao, ciao, bella. All right. Let's see. Zoomer mom. I think Vinny is my new side husband. Just don't tell him or my actual husband. Shh. Anna Paula, new YouTube member. Congratulations. Welcome. We've got another Twitcher today. Oh, no, that's the same one. Checkmate her heart. Twitch on fire. You know, sometimes we've gotten up to like 12 viewers at once on Twitch. It's amazing. A lot of kids on Twitch, but it might be the new breeding ground for us in true crime. We take over. We do a Twitch takeover. Kim Ross saying no self-defense when she allowed him to die, right? No self-defense in that scenario. And that makes sense, right? Like, but it's beyond the simplest of self-defenses, because now you've got the added part of the defense, which is battered spouse syndrome. Okay, so the syndrome absolutely plays into all of this, and it changes it from traditional self-defense. Traditional self-defense, she's done. I think she would be done. But when you add in the fact of, reacting or being triggered based upon something that happened, and, it's almost like you don't control what you're doing. But her testimony is a little different than that she does have some level of control and knows what she's doing. And yes, I left it open this much. I didn't think he would pass away. All right, here we go. Let's get this. Sharon Wright with a good question. Great question from Facebook. Why are prior acts allowed? They were not reportable incidents, and he's not here to tell his side. The door was opened when the judge found that he had taken, there was at least evidence, whether the jury believes it or not, that he had taken that step. The threatening actions of George from inside the suitcase opened the door to allow her expert to testify based upon the prior history in the relationship to this battered spouse syndrome. It's because of that, the uniqueness of this defense, that these prior incidents are permitted in this particular case. So there will be no way to argue battered spouse syndrome without evidence of the battering through the years. And that's how the door was opened. But before it could be opened, and this was all, they sort of tiptoed through this inside the courtroom. First, they had to establish in front of the judge that there was some form of an overt act, or arguably an overt act, by George Torres. And what they're saying in this case is his threats from inside the suitcase opened the door under this very specific defense. So that's how it all happened, Sharon. But you're right. Normally, you would not hear this stuff. Normally, the victim doesn't get put on trial. But in this case, make no mistake, the victim is on trial, and so is the defendant at the same time. Cop, Northwest Pennsylvania. I don't know. I'm just guessing what that is. Why not call the police when you smash the TV? Yeah, and then you get into the syndrome and how you react in the syndrome, and people who are victims of this oftentimes feel trapped and do not do that. That'll be the explanation for it all. That'll be the explanation. Hello. Wanda on top of this on Facebook. Police video and what she said and what she said in court. Two different stories. Exactly. Another reason why many of us do not believe Sarah Boone. Right? You can explain under the syndrome why someone wouldn't speak out about it, but it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem because all of this, arguably, and if I'm the prosecutor, let me put on my prosecutor hat for just a second. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we were here and we heard Sarah Boone tell her story. And I'll admit, she came across with some level of composure, some level of credibility, some level. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget, this isn't the first time she has spoken. You've seen her. We've all seen her and heard her before. The body camera footage. What did she say then? Was she saying the same thing? Did we hear anything about this self-defense? Did we hear anything about George's threats? When was the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that we heard about George's threats? It was here, inside this courtroom, with her life on the line. I think the prosecutor will handle it. I think the prosecutor will handle that. No doubt in my mind. Getting some good comments today from Facebook. Facebook stepping up. Facebook stepping up today. Okay, Laura's being honest. Let's be honest. I'm being honest too. The abuse was a lot more extensive than I thought. Slightly changed my mind. Now the question is, where does that take you? Where does that take you when it comes to the charges here? Is that a complete defense to the charges? If there is the lesser included charge, perhaps manslaughter, does it take you there? Or does it take you all the way to not guilty? Have a nice day, Sarah Boone. It's not, I mean, I'm a former prosecutor. It's not over till it's over. You've got to convince each and every juror, and each and every juror could go the other way. Let's not forget, in this same courthouse, 12 people told Casey Anthony, have a nice day. Enjoy the rest of your life. They didn't prove anything here, including all the lesser charges. So anything is possible. Anything is possible. And it was compelling because there was actual, videos and pictures. I mean, that wound to the leg, that was real. That happened. Ooh, good one from Deb. Deb Olsavsky. I think I added an extra letter there. Deb Olsavsky. How about if I just call you Deb? I think she definitely is a narcissist. Mostly me again. How do we know she didn't stab her own leg? All right, let me think about that for a second. What would be the purpose of stabbing her own leg? If she wanted him to get arrested, but did she call police that time? Like, you stab your leg and then you call police and you blame him. I get it. But if you stab your leg, don't call police. And do we really think she would would a narcissist stab themselves? Maybe, in some warped world and way, for sure. Mm-hmm. In the video, the zipper is not where she says. I've looked in that. Let me see if I can get that. Let's see if we can actually see where it is. Let me see if I've got that video. Let me see if I can find that video. Because I've had a hard time with that video. It's so far away. Now, police can't testify about where the zipper was because, she opens it and does CPR. So by that time, there's nothing there. But let me see. There we go.
For everything you've done to me, Sarah.
All right. Can we see where it is here? Let me go big. Can we see where the zipper is? And then maybe it's in the other video where it's standing up. I don't know if I have that one with me right now. Let's hide the comment and take a look. Do we see it? Do we see it? Let me see the zipper. I can't see it from this angle. I think it's when the zipper's standing up. I don't think I have that handy. My fault. As they say, my bad. I'll take a closer look. Maybe you see it better when it's standing up where the zippers are. Brooke on YouTube. Grulix. I really wanted them to ask her to get in so they could make sure it was possible. Oh, it's definitely possible. I'll tell you right now. We did this in the studio, and we had someone who was 5'2", and And that person was 5'2", I think actually weighed more than he did. So it was a little bit larger than he was because he's only 103 pounds. And they were able to get in. They were able to get in. It wasn't a problem. It's not comfortable. You're contorted. Because remember, he's 5'2". That's what, 62 inches. And it's 28 inches high. And Cindy, this I think this is valid. Cindy on YouTube. I wonder if the abuse will help her get a lesser charge. Yeah, there could be. See, a jury could do whatever they want. And if you serve on a jury, you should know whatever you do, you do. Whatever your verdict is, it is. They can't do anything about it. Like, they can't come back and say, hey, you can't find her guilty or not guilty of this or that. Yeah, you can. You can do whatever you want. You can compromise. You won't get an instruction that you can compromise, but you can, and juries do. And, if someone's all the way on the listen, she's a victim, and someone's no way she's not, and they're on polar opposites, there may very well be room for them to meet. Okay. Lindsay Skinner, not Leonard Skinner, but Lindsay Skinner. I can't get past the zero emotion whilst recalling the abuse. Also, I've been traumatized seeing that suitcase again. She isn't bothered by it. Okay, that's another part of this, right? That was the downside of her testimony, right? She says she loves him, but you don't feel it. You don't feel like there's any sense of remorse. Like someone who didn't intend the result, but the result happened, would seemingly have some remorse about it. Like, listen, yeah, I get it. He was threatening me. I'm a victim of his and everything else. But then at the other side of her mouth, she's saying, but I didn't intend to do this. Okay, you didn't intend to do this, but it happened. You don't feel bad about that? It's strange. But, I don't know where her personality is, if she has the ability for those types of emotions, but I would think most humans do have the ability, if you legitimately feel it, like, oh my goodness. But that wasn't there. By the way, we're over 3,500 live viewers in the middle of the day on a Thursday. Thank you for watching. All right, Dave Fly High on Facebook. Why in the world will you've gotten into the suitcase to begin with? Well, I can only go by her story. They're playing hide and seek. They drank a couple bottles of wine. They're a little confused as to who is it, right? When you play hide and seek, not it, somebody's it. But it seems at this point of the hide and seek game, or alleged hide and seek game, both were hiding and no one was seeking. She was hiding upstairs in the shower. He was hiding downstairs trying to get himself into the suitcase to hide. She thought that he was it, and I guess he thought that she was it. Neither one was it. She gets out of the shower and goes downstairs, and as she's going downstairs, she sees him in the suitcase. Then they start laughing, ha, ha, ha. I wonder if you could fit in there. She zips him shut, and then boom, things go dark. Things turn very dark very quickly. And that's when she breaks out the video camera. So that's the story. I mean, I guess I could believe that they were playing a ridiculous game of hide and seek where they were a little confused because they were a little and didn't know who was it. All right. I am 40 minutes behind in the comments. I'm going to have to zip through these a little quicker just to catch up. So we'll run out of time here. I sort of had my my first course for my lunch, but I didn't have my main course. I had a nice burrata with some Campari tomatoes and avocado. Sort of warmed up my appetite. But I'm going to have to eat pretty soon because I'm getting hungry. Yeah. I think this is a big issue. And I think this is something I've got to dive into because I don't think, if you only take a second, I can find an image of it. It's going to take too long. Oh, no, maybe not. Let me see. because it's in the second video where it's upright. So I'm trying to see if I can find an image of it being upright. They're all on the side, on the side, on the side. It's that second video we haven't paid as much attention to, which might actually be more important. Do I have the second? I don't even know if I have the second video handy. So I'm trying to see if anyone else has it. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Hold on a second. All right. No, I can't do it. I can't find it when it's upright, because I think that's when we can really see. Because when it's down on the zipper side. Bummer. I can't find an image. Every image is the one that I showed you. And it's the other image that will probably be more interesting for here. All right. And CJ wanted me to get in it for science. Yeah, I wouldn't fit. I'm over 6 feet tall. All right. Iron Maven, new member, Court TV YouTube channel. Welcome. Don't forget to check out the different levels of membership as well. All right. I am scrolling because I am 40 minutes behind in the comments. So I am just scrolling quickly. So I can make sure I see everyone. And here's April Diaz. I tried with my brother to see if I could fit or get out of the suitcase. I'm small and 5'2", but can only get out if my brother left it open a little. You see? And that's what she's saying she did. She said she opened it up a little. Thank you, April, by the way. I'm small, 5'2". I could only get out. And so she did get in. And I think there's people all around. And the size of the suitcase, it's a normal suitcase. It's not like the mini one, because I had the mini one inside the other one. But it's a pretty normal, full-size suitcase, but not a jumbo suitcase. And I've seen some of those jumbo suitcases. That's not the case. It's 28 by 20 and about 9 inches deep. But it's 9 inches deep, but the top is of the material that's a little flexible. So, you can get a little more space out of it. So April could only get out if her brother left it open a little. Now, I understand the zipper wasn't working really well on that one. A little more rickety. It was old. It wasn't a 4-wheeler. It looked like maybe it was just a 2-wheeler, I think, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was a 4-wheeler. But I still think if it's like your life is at stake and it was actually left open like that much, hand, arm, you're going to do anything and everything you can unless you're unable to do that, or if it's zipped all the way shut. And if it's zipped all the way shut, it's going to be, I don't know, virtually impossible to get out of, especially as you start to panic a little bit and the breathing is inhibited to begin with. We saw how his breathing wasn't great to begin with. I mean, when he's with the baseball bat, he takes a few swings and he's got to catch his breath. So he's not in tip-top shape. He's scrunched in there. There's a lot of factors playing against him in order to get out of there. But if it is, in fact, all the way shut, he's not getting out. But if it's left open, I think you would be able to get your body, even potentially your head, through there. I think she would have zipped it shut just to mute his cries and pleas for help so she could sleep. It's from Gen X, one of our mods. I'm only 35 minutes behind, but I'll get there. I will get there. Rainbow Steph, she knew exactly what she was doing. She put him in there, zipped it all the way, and then beat him. Well, she had to admit it, right? Had to admit. The baseball bat is another one of those bad facts. Again, she was minimizing it, saying, I'm just sort of nudging his fingers with it, but that's not what you use a baseball bat for. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Court TV in the house. Smash that like button carefully. Court TV not legally responsible for your damaged keyboards. All right, Tanya Quinn over in Ireland. Thanks for watching, Tanya. Get a lot of viewers from Ireland and the UK. Or is Ireland part of the UK? Or is part of Ireland part of the UK? It's very confusing over there. I try to go by what I was taught in school, but these days everything we were taught when we were growing up seems to be wrong. So I don't know which way is up anymore. All right. Fairy D on YouTube. I don't think she really remembers what happened that night. Not all of it, at least. She didn't remember the video, like the most important piece of evidence. She had no clue. It is super clear when you watch the body cam and the entire. She had no idea that she had made these videos. No idea. And that's part of the problem. Because you're saying things not knowing that there's a video of what was actually happening. Kathy Guidry, thank you. Sloppy drunks do not remember details that she is testifying to. And it was sloppy. There's no doubt it was sloppy. Come on, let's be honest. You know, it wasn't just tipsy. She didn't just get tipsy. She got sloppy. Juliana Bonilla. Juliana, great to see you. If previous DV episodes were a motivating factor, I feel she would have mentioned that instead of the cheating. He was a captive audience after all. She did. She said cheating and also choking. That's what it feels like when you choke me. That's what you get when you cheat on me. So she did both. She did both, Juliana. Thank you for watching. Mark Nugent. That's a lot of weight. Mark, that's a lot of weight. Those are, oh my goodness. Those arms. I don't even think those arms would fit in the suitcase, by the way, Mark. How do you think Sarah handled herself on the stand? I think she surprised me. I think she surprised a lot of people. You know, I followed the story for 4 years. We were the first network to nationally talk about this story, you know, shortly after it happened down in Orlando. And I was expecting someone unhinged, someone off the rails, etc. And that's not what we got. That's not what we got. And maybe it's the sobriety. Maybe it's the sobriety of jail that actually helped her. Dr. Ray, what do you think the jury thinks? I never know what they're thinking. However, they don't have the pretrial knowledge. And if they do, they have to put it aside. They've seen the video just once. Closings might be critical. Closings are absolutely critical here. Like prosecutors can't, this is not a march to the inevitable. This is not a layup. I don't say slam dunk. Sometimes I accidentally say slam dunk. Slam dunks are not easy. Can anyone watching right now actually slam dunk a basketball? Probably not. I can't. I've been playing basketball since I was like 8 years old. I've been playing for a long time. I cannot slam. I can do a layup. For me, a layup is easy. Okay. This is not a layup. It's not as hard as a slam dunk for me, but it's somewhere between a slam dunk and a layup. So yeah, the closings will be critical and prosecutors got to tighten it up. They got to tighten it up. You know, point out all the problems. Make it very clear, but don't lose sight of giving this jury the roadmap to conviction. You've got to go through the charges and the elements that you have to prove. You've got to lay out what the elements are and then tell the jury how you prove them. You've got to undo what they are attempting to prove. And then you've got to bring it back to common sense. You do those three things in any particular order, then you've given them a roadmap to conviction. Thank you, Dr. Ray. By the way, doctor, it hurts when I do this. All right. Lovely Bones 886. Love your shows. Thank you, Lovely Bones. And I love all the emojis. There's a whole bunch of emojis. I can't even begin to thank you for all the emojis. This is good too by Lauren Abo. Just a thought. George, too drunk to figure out he could get out. I think Sarah was a battered spouse, but she is responsible for his death. Voluntary manslaughter. You should have taken the plea deal. Bingo. There you go. There you go. That's, I mean, to me, could you argue with that? Could you argue with that? I don't think you can argue with that. There's no evidence of premeditation that they have. So the second degree is a little different than first degree. It's actually a lot different, the mens rea. It's actually a little bit, it's easier to prove second degree. But I could see a jury going here. That's possible. And a jury might be questioning his sobriety as well. Absolutely. That's part of the equation. Like I said, UK in the house. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. Lovely Bones says she's innocent. There you go. You're gonna. We've had more than one people say that, and on a jury, it just takes one. By the way, this is Florida, so it's not a capital case, so it's not 12 jurors on this one. So you've got less than 12 jurors. I think you have 6 who will be deliberating. The defense may have been better off with 12 jurors, but we'll see. All right. How far behind? I'm still 33 minutes behind. I'm sorry. I gotta go through a lot. Gringa. Vinny, I worry that the sheer volume of the expert battered spouse testimony will cloud the jury's judgment. What are your thoughts, please? If all the focus of the jury is on that, it becomes problematic. You want the focus elsewhere. You have to deal with it. You have to acknowledge that part of the case, but you've got to give the jury a way to dismiss it as a prosecutor and get them focused on what happened that night and all the facts and her stories and inconsistent stories and her, Johnny come lately fear in the moment that it's all happening, and get the focus there. Where you get this jury to focus, how you marshal the evidence in the closing argument is significant in this case. So those are my thoughts, Gringa. Thank you very much. Let's see. Victor Mature became a YouTube member. Wow, that is a dashing photo. All right. I'm going to try to, still a half hour behind. So many great comments today. By the way, hit the like button. France is a new member. The entire country is now a member on YouTube. Has joined. It's like the Court TV YouTube channel is now becoming like NATO. Entire countries are signing up. Great to have you, France. We are from France. Bob Bergman. I think you're in the wrong live stream, but free Karen Reed. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Okay. I'm going to try to get much closer to where we are in real time. And we're over an hour, folks. We're over an hour. Rhonda Lee, Vinny, you need a new prosecutor's hat. You think so? like that one. But we'll see. Maybe. Yeah, the combination of DV and alcohol here is, that's the story, right? That's the story. Juliana Bonilla, thank you, Juliana. Appreciate the support. April's back. She's got more. Hope you're having a great afternoon. I said earlier that my brother and I tried it fully zipped. I couldn't get out. Partially, I could. See? She did the experiment. She did it. You should record it, send it to one of our mods, and then maybe we would play it. Now, this is interesting. Could the prosecutors play the video of her talking when he's in the suitcase and zoom in at the zipper? That's interesting, right? So that is something that would not go unchecked, right? You can attempt to get that into evidence, a zoomed in, enhanced image. The defense could object, and then the judge could make a ruling on it. You can attempt to do it. And I've seen it done in other cases. A defense attorney would likely object to it. There'd be legal argument outside the presence of the jury, and the jury would call on whether or not that was admissible or not. And what's funny is that my guess is the jury is going to try to do that themselves, because the jury will likely get that in the inside the deliberation room. All right. I'm doing a little better. I'm only like 20 minutes behind right now. 20 minutes behind. So some people, if you posted like 25 minutes ago and, oh, wow. Claire on the Court TV YouTube channel thinks the black eye was fake. It looked like face paint. Interesting. Wow. Huh. I've gotten black eyes, not in fights, but elbows playing basketball. I've got some photos. Not handy, though. No, I don't think I have any handy. I should have dug them up for the Johnny Depp trial. That's an interesting concept. Sue, yeah, she doesn't even remember making the video until the cops found it. She had no idea the video is there. Okay, T-Bev. Vinny, what game of hide and seek is hide and hide? Doesn't make sense. The only way it makes sense, and I'm just, I'm speculating, but it's based upon, the situation. I say situation. They didn't know who was it. She thought he was it. He thought she was it. That's why they're both hiding. That's the only way it makes sense, right? That's the only way it makes sense. All right, CJ Olin, how long do you think deliberations will be? I say less than 3 hours. Okay, this is how I have a theorem on this. Do I have the paper? This is Politan's theorem. This is how long normal deliberations take. For every day of evidence and testimony, expect 1 hour of deliberations. For every week in a long trial, like a Karen Reed case or a Alec Murdoch, for every week of testimony, expect about a day of deliberations. So this case began when? On Friday. So, if the jury gets the case on Thursday or Friday, 4 hours or so would be a normal deliberation. Now, this isn't a prediction on how long deliberations will take. What it does is it gives me a baseline so I can tell you whether or not it's a long or a short deliberation. How can any legal analyst, and they all do this, folks, they all do this, They tell you, oh, that's a long deliberation. Compared to what? Oh, that's a short deliberation. Compared to what? Oh, they've been out a long time. They should be back by now. What do they base it on? See, I'm the only one. I am the only one. And I've tried to share this with my colleagues. I'm not talking about colleagues. I'm talking about other networks. And other people try to do this. Is you need a baseline. You need, before you can say whether or not a deliberation is short or long, you need to know what a normal deliberation is. I've been with Court TV for decades. I've covered nothing but high-profile trials for decades. And I have come up with this formula, Politan's theorem. 1 day of testimony, 1 hour of deliberations. That's what would be normal. So less than 3 hours, the case is more than 3 days. That's a quick one. Then the next question that follows is quick good for the prosecution or good for the defense? Again, that depends upon the nature of the case. It really does. And the nature of the evidence. In a case where there's like really valid arguments on both sides, longer is better, I believe, for the defense. If it's a case with overwhelming evidence for the prosecution, then I think a short deliberation is better for the prosecution. Then you take a look at a case like O.J. Simpson, which is like a super long trial with super fast deliberations. And there it was one issue. It was one issue. It was Furman. So if there's a case that has that one issue, that's like, that just can tank a case for either side, right? For either side, that one piece that's just like, come on, what are we talking about? That can speed things up as well. So fast, slow, it depends on the circumstances as to who it could potentially be better for based upon the nature of the case. But you need a baseline. You need a baseline. Ashley Bouchard, if Vinny says the name of she will not be named, he is big mad, justifiably so. Central Florida really breeds him special. I lived in Central Florida for a while, and I loved my time down there. I did. I really did. I lived in Orange County, Florida. Yes, I did. I had a great time. One wardrobe, one set of clothes. It was awesome. But by the way, we're just ticking close to 4,000 live viewers in the middle of the day. Streaming on Facebook, my Facebook, YouTube, my YouTube, Court TV's YouTube, Twitch, and X as well. Like, that verdict was, I saw all the evidence. I was there. I was in the courtroom. I saw the duct tape that covered her skeletal remains of a head. I saw her hair tangled in the duct tape. And you're telling me everything's hunky-dory? Like, it was crazy. And I think they got bamboozled. I think they did not like the prosecutor. They loved Jose, and that really shaded the way they saw the evidence. And also the reasonable doubt argument made by the defense was a powerful presentation that wasn't necessarily undermined. And I think the jury got the belief that prosecutors have to prove every fact beyond a reasonable doubt. That's not the standard of proof. The standard of proof is you have to prove the elements of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. Other facts, whether something is green or red, if it's not an element of the crime, there's no obligation. And they wanted everything proven to them beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond the elements of the crime. And I think that was the real problem. That, and the investigators blew the case because she was searching on Firefox. And that's where the incriminating searches were. And the police officer who didn't go in and find Kaylee before the storms came. Barb Murray, what is the question jury has to answer in a minute? Not following you. You might be watching live right now. Obviously, I'm not, because I'm streaming live. So I'm not sure. I'm not clear on the question. Sorry, Barb. What is the question the jury has to answer imminent? My guess is this is relative to something that's just happened. So my apologies, but thank you, Barb, so much for watching. Monkberry Reef doesn't remember anything about the night, remembers how he got in, remembers poking his hand with the bat and zipping it up. Excuse me? Selective memory. Selective memory. You know, also had selective memory is Jodi Arias. She remembered all these things, and then things got really foggy when it came time for all the incriminating evidence. But anything that was exculpatory, crystal clear, crystal clear. Thank you, Monkberry Reef. Kathleen Kelly. Vinny, I sure wish you were the one prosecuting this case. Sarah may actually go free. I'm not prosecuting the case, but let's have some confidence. Let's have some confidence that this prosecutor will be able to put the pieces together in a way that's easy for the jury to digest and we're over 4,000 and put the pieces together so the jury. The other thing you want to do in your closing argument is give the jurors who are on your side ammunition inside the jury room. And what I mean by that is you give them little nuggets of things that they'll remember that they can use to argue or to convince other jurors to come on board for the guilty verdict. So thank you, Kathleen Kelly, but I will not be trying any more cases. I'm officially in retirement status. That is actually the status of my license to practice laws, in retirement status. That way you don't have to pay the annual fees and you don't have to do the continuing legal education. You don't have to hang your shingle and associate with a law firm. Rhonda Lee, Vinny, George had no fight in him to threaten her while in the suitcase. I agree. I mean, we heard his voice. What she is saying, and I talked about this on the air on my show, there's really three stages that she describes. The first stage is they're laughing about him getting in. Can you fit? I don't know. Can you fit? Get in there. Let's see. I'll zip you shut. Then the second stage is what we see on the video, where he's pleading and begging, and she is like in control, and she is taunting him and making fun of him, not laughing with him, laughing at him. Okay. Then the third stage that she describes, which is not on video conveniently, is when it turns and she becomes the victim and he begins to threaten her. Like, did he have the ability to turn that switch? Is it credible to believe that he would go from begging and knowing that there's one person who can save him, and that's the person he now decides to threaten and say he's going to end her when he gets out? I'm going to end you. Now get me out of here. And then does it make sense if he's saying that she would then leave it unzipped that much? I'm going to thank you, Rhonda, so much. A quick one from Janet Harris. To change the subject, I live here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We are upset. Just as I said, the judge isn't allowing a live feed of the hearing. It's an atrocity, especially in that case. This is the Delphi case. This is a case where there is a lack of transparency, but there's a lack of trust in the case and what's happening. Is the right man being charged? Are the rulings in court fair? What is the actual evidence against this man? There is a lot of questioning of the case in the Delphi trial, and they have done everything possible to be as non-transparent as they legally can. I believe if they were permitted by the law to shut the doors, they would let no one into that trial. But they can't go that far. But the judge has gone as far as the judge can go. I agree with you, Janet. And the people of Indiana should be upset with the lack of transparency. All right. How far behind am I? Still 20 minutes. So I'm zooming through. So, oh, look who's here. Jennifer Soubey is here. Should have taken a deal. 15 was the deal. She's got 4 in, eligible for parole after 12. So it was just an extra 8. An extra 8 was the deal. An extra 8. That's a pretty good deal, all things considered. But I'm not doing the time. Kathy Guidry, who was advocating that George was a battered spouse also, right? That's the unfairness of this, right? He can't speak for himself. He can't speak for himself. And that's where a little balance gets a little imbalanced there, because it seems like this was a case of mutual of violence. All right, let's continue. Jackie Cupstus on YouTube. Vinny, still looking good doing this. I don't know how many years, and a rock star doing it. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much, Jackie. Nice emojis. Nice emojis. I've been doing this since the turn of the century on Court TV. And then I was doing it somewhere else before that. All right, I'm trying to catch up here. I'm like 17 minutes behind in the comments. If you left a comment, you're wondering, why isn't he reading my comment? Well, maybe I haven't gotten there. I start in the beginning so I can scroll through all of them, because I always start the live stream with my thing. Whatever the point of my live stream is, I do that. Generally, it goes between 20 and 30 minutes, but sometimes it goes a little longer. So it takes a while to catch up. Okay. Gen X, hit the like button, please, folks. Hit the like button. It helps a lot. Vicky thinks it's a fake black eye, too. All right. We're getting some people voting for it. See, that's the way I am. Like out of the box, I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt a little bit. And I'm not questioning the black eye, but people are questioning it. Interesting. Very, very interesting that people are not buying the black eye. Sally Vella, he's 30 minutes behind again. Come on, Vinny, catch up. All right, Sally. I'm getting closer. I'm like 9 minutes behind. Aaron Muller, over 3K viewers and only 480 likes. Hit the like button, y'all. Come on. We're over 4,000. Well, we've got 4,000 that are watching on all the platforms combined. That's Facebook, my YouTube, Court TV, YouTube, X, and Twitch. So it is a combination. I don't know how many are on each one, but please just hit the like button. Can you please hit the like button? We've got a new member to Court TV's YouTube channel, Michelle Thompson. Welcome, Michelle. Speaking of Michelle Eastham, why wouldn't the prosecution object to all the leading behind being done by the defense? Well, this was during her testimony. And I think there was sort of an agreement to keep her from testifying about things that she wasn't allowed to testify about. They wanted to rein her in a little bit. This is just my interpretation of the way it went. Or you've got a prosecutor who's sleeping and allowing it, or you've got a prosecutor who doesn't think there's any harm being done by it. But yeah, the defense was doing a lot of leading questions. Leading question is a question that suggests an answer, like, you were angry, right? That's not, like, you can ask that on cross-examination. You were angry, weren't you? But when you're on direct and it's your witness, you can't say, you were angry, weren't you? Objection, leading question. The question is, how are you feeling? You might get away with, did you feel angry? Because that it could be yes or no, and it doesn't necessarily suggest an answer, but you were angry, right? That's like you're answering the question. And that's what you do on good cross-examination. You ask a lot of leading questions because you want to suggest an answer, because you're not even talking to the witness. You're really talking to the jury while you're asking those questions. That's good cross-examination. Thank you, Michelle. Let's see. Ashley Bouchard, what was the worst crime you had to prosecute? Well, here's the thing. I prosecuted in Bergen County, New Jersey. The good news and the bad news. The good news was if you lived in Bergen County, it's a great county to live. The bad news, if you're a prosecutor, like our homicide squad was one prosecutor. One prosecutor. So not doing those cases. I was a prosecutor back in the days of Bergen County is just over the bridge from Washington Heights, New York, which was the crack capital of the nation. And there were thousands of cases of drug mules coming over the George Washington Bridge being stopped in Bergen County, and we were backlogged with those. So I did some in juvenile, and I can't really talk about those cases necessarily. I sort of can dance around them because it's a closed proceeding. Those were more serious in terms of the conduct, not more serious in terms of what could happen to the defendants, the juveniles. When I got pushed up to the trial section, junior trial attorney, right? So you're getting the lower level stuff. You're getting the assaults. You're getting the burglaries. You're getting the possession with intent to distribute cases, drug cases after drug case after drug case. Most of your cases ended up in plea deals. So, the worst of the worst, from my perspective, some of the ag assaults ended up in plea deals because you could hang, attempted red rum over them, and they plead guilty to the ag assault, and they go and they do their, 10 years or whatever. So those were the worst crimes. I wasn't getting the homicides. First of all, there was only one prosecutor, and he was super senior at the time. So you got to, you stay 10 years. Yeah, you'll get on that squad in the particular office that I was in. So that's the answer to that question. Mm-hmm. Bernie Hart Dragon. Can we talk about the bat video staged? Who wants for what purpose is what I'm trying to understand. Like I think it's like semi-staged. It's a bizarre relationship. Like he's going to smash it, but he's also talking about and making accusations in this jealousy fueled rage. So it's a combination. It tells me a couple things. It tells me, number one, he's not in great shape. It tells me, number two, now you've got this image that I think, you don't get a lot of images of victims in a lot of these cases. And here now, these are the images that they're left of the victim. And that's slightly problematic for prosecutors. You can attempt to undermine it and make it say, well, how was this even recorded? Was she really in fear that she's able to go and get the phone and record this stuff? What was really going on here, ladies and gentlemen? That's the way you have to handle it. But it doesn't help prosecutors. There's no way it helps prosecutors. It just doesn't. All right. I got to catch all the way up because I need to attempt to eat just a little something. But I did already eat a little something. Sergio Bay. After seeing him smash the TV with the bat, I understand she could be in fear for her life. There you go. So it can be interpreted both ways. You can think that it's somewhat staged and there's something a little off about it, but you can also see some sense of rage. I mean, you're destroying something and then you're swinging a bat violently. Period. Thank you, Sergio. You know, I never had a pair of Sergios back in the day. Is it Sergio Valenti? Is it Sergio Valenti? Now, I would wear a Sergio Tacchini tracksuit, sweatsuit. I had those. What was it, Sergio Valenti jeans? I'm trying to remember. Sergio. Right? I think so. I think I'm right. Thank you, Sergio. Jackie Cupstus. Think Redlick. I'm a little nervous. Don't just think Redlick. Think Thompson, too. Same courthouse, Thompson, on Court TV. Redlick, same courthouse. Yeah, you can be nervous. There is reason to be. This is not over. This is not over. There is no, I'll be more surprised by an NG not guilty, but I wouldn't be floored like I was years ago because I'm prepared for it now. I'm prepared for it potentially happening. I'm not expecting it, but I'm prepared for it. And Redlick was another one. Absolutely. You are correct. I'm trying to remember her first name. I can't remember her name, but her, am I caught up? I did it. I caught up. Amy J, DA to announce decision in Menendez case. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's big news today. We'll be talking about it tonight. Okay, folks. Thank you for watching. I'm going to end it now. I think we got some Menendez stuff coming down. That's why I said my afternoon is going to be busy putting the show together. Please like, please subscribe before you leave. If you're on the Court TV YouTube page, you can be a member, and different levels of membership give you different access. So take a close look at that. If you're on Court TV, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're on my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to Court TV's YouTube channel as well. Tonight, 8 o'clock, obviously, we'll be talking about SarahBoone, Menendez brothers tonight as well. I'm live from 8 to 10, 8 to 9, closing arguments, 9 to 10, Vinnie Politan investigates. It's another big, big night of true crime, and I'm the only guy on television, prime time, 2 hours of true crime. Some people dip their toes in on some of the other networks, you know, here and there. Then they run over and do their politics, or they do this, they do that. True crime. Oh, my voice cracked. Peter Brady. True crime all the time. True crime all the time. Before I go, I'm about to eat, but I already ate something. So keep that in mind, okay? I had my first course before the live stream today, okay? So keep that in mind, because it's the time of the program at the end where it's up to you to figure out what my blood sugar is. Okay, I'm type 1 diabetic. Keep in mind that I did, in fact, have something to eat prior to the live stream because I knew I was going to be going past my lunchtime and I didn't want to crash on you. Okay. You guess my blood sugar, and whoever guesses correctly gets recognized, but there will be no actual prize. You'll be recognized, the first one to get it right, but you will not get a prize yet. I'm working on it. Okay. With that in mind, it's time.
Here's the type 1. Here's type 1. His pancreas is on fruits. He has diabetes, type 1 juvenile diabetes. And so it's time to guess, is more or less, what's his blood sugar? What's Vinny's blood sugar?
Sally was pretty close.
Under 70, he gets lightheaded.
Not with that large number, though.
Under 60, all the alarms start ringing. Over 180, he starts to get lethargic. But when it's 90, Vinny, eyes are singing. And so it's time to guess, is more or less,
Just me.
What's his blood sugar? What's Vinny's blood sugar? But take a guess. Yes, take a guess. Let's guess Vinny's blood sugar now.
Checkmate her heart on Twitch, getting it right. 145. Good job. Pretty quick. This is, because I did eat. You took that into consideration. There were some super high guesses. Hopefully I never hit some of those numbers. Brianna had me at 900. Sandra, a little late, but got the 145. You're recognized, Sandra. Thank you so much. All right, folks, that's it. Oh, A. Scott Burke also got it. All right, good job. A little late, but we're going to be working on it. I'm going to get some great. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to figure it out. So, I mean, you guys deserve something. You really do. But thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for all the super chats. Thanks for the great comments. Thank you to Court TV's YouTube channel as well for simulcasting us today. Awesome. We got a bunch of new members over there. And that'll do it for me. I'm Vinny Politan. I'll see you 8 o'clock tonight on Court TV with all the big true crime news. Have a great day. And please don't forget to hug the kids.